Bruce Heyman is with us now. He's a former U.S. ambassador to Canada. He's in Chicago this morning. Bruce, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So, President Biden, we have to get used to saying that, made it very clear yesterday that he will follow that tradition of calling the Canadian Prime Minister first. What do you think it says about the relationship between these two countries moving forward?
So it says a lot. I know the president. He swore me in. I traveled with him to Vancouver and Ottawa. I visited with him several times during his campaign. And I can tell you this from top to bottom. He values the U.S.-Canada relationship, and he looks forward to working directly with the Prime Minister on tackling some of our shared interests around the world.
Okay, and there are some big issues that the two countries need to discuss, need to work together on. Do you want to just pick up on our coverage regarding the Keystone XL pipeline project being nixed? The Premier of Alberta certainly has a stronger position on it than it sounds like the Prime Minister does. Do you expect the Prime Minister to push back on Biden? And what could really come from that? How much success do you think he'll have?
So just a reminder to everybody, I don't represent the Biden administration. I was the former ambassador working under the Obama administration. And I would say the following: we have so much that we can do together. There's so many opportunities right now, and a time to pivot the relationship away from where it was under Donald Trump. So this is the moment where we should look for opportunities to find paths to do things together. COVID, climate change, some of the international structures where Canada is so important, the G7, the G20, the UN, the WHO, and all of these other structures that are out there where the U.S. has stepped back from and will need a partner with Canada. So, I think that this is a time where we need to focus on what can we do together. And I think the Prime Minister and the President will discuss those things.
Okay, and in that vein, let's talk about China, because under President Trump was taking on China alone. Do you think that Joe Biden will be looking to Canada as a partner in dealing with China?
I think China is one of the more complicated issues that are going to be faced by this new administration in the States. That China today is not the China when he left office, even though it was just 4 years ago. Much more aggressive approach on the world stage. In some ways, it's a response to Donald Trump. In other ways, they've just become more aggressive, period. And so this has got to be on the table to discuss. But I would just say to everybody, this is not a quick fix. I just don't think that there's wave your wand and you can fix the China, U.S., Canada relationship right off the bat.
And lastly, regarding the border, the shared border, do you think the two will discuss at least a long-term plan about when that border can reopen?
They have to touch on it. I think that we need to reach standards in which that border can be opened and publish them so that everybody knows what's expected. Because what's happening is that there are variations of people flying to Florida from Canada to get vaccine shots. Then they come back, they have different treatment than Americans going to Canada. So what is non-essential? What is essential? What qualifies you to come in? Have that standard set on both sides of the border. Is it a vaccine? Is it a quarantine? Is it a negative test? What kind of test? All of that needs to be worked out, I think, well in advance of the day we open the border.
All right, and last question to you of a more personal nature, Bruce, for anyone who follows you on Twitter, and I know from talking to you, you really wanted to see Joe Biden win the election. What is your personal reflection on what you saw happening yesterday on Inauguration Day? What are your hopes and dreams now moving forward for the United States and its relationship with Canada?
So a couple of things. First of all, I need to say thank you to the Americans living in Canada who took the time to vote. That is really important, and I think made a huge difference, especially in these very close state races that took place. But yesterday, listening to him take the oath of office, an oath of office that I'm familiar with because that oath of office is very similar for everybody in the government. But I know somebody who cares for the words that are there: preserve and protect the Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic. The other thing is, wow, how about that poet laureate? How about the language and tone and style of this 22-year-old poet. It's just amazing. And I think it set the tone. The other is this acknowledgement of 400,000 people are dead. And we didn't hide it. I mean, it was just right there. There's so much suffering that's gone on in our country as a result of this pandemic that has not been recognized by the past president. And we have to just put it on the table and say, a lot of people have lost jobs and lives, and we need to do that. I'm very optimistic about the path ahead, but I'm also a realist. With all the challenges that this president faces, it's going to be a hard journey, but one worth taking, and he has the right team with him.
Bruce Heyman, great to have you with us this morning. You take care.
Pleasure, you as well.